Geek Out!
Hey, and welcome to another Geek Out commentary. I'm Sam.
I'm Chris.
I'm Jake.
I'm Josh.
So this year is the 50th anniversary of a little franchise known as Star Trek.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it. Also, there's a new Star Trek film coming out, which most of us probably wish we never... Who knows? It could be the best fucking one. Who knows?
Time will tell.
Time, absolutely, just like it did with Apocalypse. So... so that's our next commentary series. We're doing the Star Trek movies, and just like we did Superman and the Mole Men and Batman 66, we're starting at the beginning with something that's maybe the worst Star Trek movie ever made. So...
And that's incorporating Nemesis and Insurrection.
Yeah. So this is Star Trek, the motion picture, which has been dubbed by some of the fans, including myself, as Star Trek the slow motion picture.
Ooh,
because
girl.
It's very clear that they were trying to make like a 2001 like level film, but they didn't.
I will say it is very pretty. And like I saw it back in like high school or whatever when I was like trying to expand outside of just Star Wars and checking out Star Trek. And like the first time I saw it I was like, fuck this slow ass movie. And then like college years when I was getting more into like film theory and stuff like that, I rewatched it and I was like, oh, okay, you know what? This is a very pretty movie, but fuck is it slow.
It's directed by Robert Weiss. He directed Steve McQueen and the Sand Pebbles, you know? He directed a lot of good shit, and then he also directed this.
Which is just like sand pebbles falling down an hourglass.
Got him! Taking him to task! What do you guys have anything to talk about the franchise as a whole, or...
No, I've never seen this movie before.
That's the first time?
Yeah.
Geek Out exclusive.
Yeah. Raw and unfiltered.
Mm.
Well, between this and its competitor, this is my favorite franchise of the two, and I have never seen this one, ever.
Competitor meaning Star Wars?
Yes.
Okay.
Not, trying to think of another...
Flash Gordon.
Yeah, Supernova with James Spader.
Oh, this and Black Hole? Black Hole.
Well, this one specifically, sure.
Adding Black Hole to my list because that's like the 5th time we've referenced Black Hole tonight, and I've never seen it, and it's always been, or not always, but like recently it's been like, I should probably watch that. I'm opening up my Letterboxd account and adding it to the list.
Actually, come to think of it, out of the 12 movies you're going to be watching, I've seen...
5?
Yeah, 5 of them. So
I've seen all of them.
I've seen everything. I've seen it all.
I own most of them on Laserdisc.
But yeah, without much further ado, Chris, let's just get this motherfucker rolling.
Yeah. All right, so we are watching the Blu-ray version of the Star Trek The Motion Picture. To my knowledge, there's no director's cuts, extended editions.
The director's... It's kind of like Wrath of Khan and everything, in that the director's cut's now the official, like, widely released cut.
Okay, so if you have the same version that's on the Blu-ray.
Basically anything DVD on, you've got this version.
Okay, so thank you, Sam. That's the one we're watching. We have it set up ready to go. The counter is at all zeros on the movie, so make sure that you're queued up and ready for my countdown when I tell you to hit play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
Yeah, to kind of build on that discrepancy, Robert Wise was so dissatisfied with the final product that he made a director's cut like within several years of it premiering. Mm. And this is also the only Star Trek film... I'm so sorry, guys, but I'm not. This is also the only Star Trek film with an overture.
That's why I thought that there was a problem with the movie when I hit play when we were checking it out, because like the sound wasn't coming through the headphones, and I was like, "Why is there no picture?
Wait,
what the fuck is going on?"
I'm confused. Why is that a bad thing?
Because it's just a blank screen and music playing.
I love
nothing's
overtures.
happening.
Oh,
overtures are great.
Yeah, no,
the Roadshow of Hateful Eight had an overture, and it was beautiful.
Yeah,
sure. When you're in a theater.
Yeah, but like. And the fact that it's almost 11 o'clock at night and most of us have to work tomorrow morning.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Did the non-director's cut have the overture, or was that added for the.
It was in the because again they thought it would be like a 2001 Star Wars level event. So they're like, we're gonna have a fucking
I remember the VHS having the overture. Now that my memory has been jingled,
and yet the Hateful Eight didn't.
That's because it was only part of the roadshow.
Yeah.
Unless you went to the
that was part of the incentive there. This movie ran behind schedule so much that Robert Wise himself personally delivered the first print to the premiere, like in the fucking giant can, you know.
Cool.
So it was.
There we go.
Yeah, overture's done.
Oh, it's a Paramount picture.
Yes. Because originally they were going to make Star Trek Phase 2. They were going to do a new series. And the plot, yes, we get an overture and opening titles if you haven't seen this before.
But so did Hateful Eight.
Yeah. Oh, Jerry Goldsmith's score, man. For me, that's like over like the original series score. Maybe probably because like the next gen connection. For me, this is the fucking Star Trek theme. All due respect to Alexander Courage from the '60s, but this is
me too.
Yeah, this tune just always gets me going. More than
gets your noodle going,
just like John at Seeing You.
Well, I mean, the scores to many of the Star Wars films are great, but the openings just never had that same enthusiasm I felt as like this one did.
Well, I mean, it's Goldsmith, man.
Yeah,
he's like a fucking legend. Dun, 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 dun. But they it was originally supposed to be a new TV series called Star Trek Phase 2, and this was the plot for the pilot, which was going to be like a TV movie premiere. And they after the success of Star Wars and Close Encounters of the Third Kind, because those were within a year of each other, they decided to make it into a full-on blockbuster film. And honestly, it was the highest grossing. It's the highest grossing Star Trek film if you adjust for inflation.
Ever?
Yes. Like if you just if you just count ticket sales, which doesn't take like price points into account, then yeah, it's the highest grossing Star Trek film.
Impressive.
Also, this film marks the what we now consider the official look of the Klingons, because in the original series they just had big bushy eyebrows and had bad tan makeup.
Yeah. And
you mean the makeup department wasn't a thing?
Yeah.
and then that's sparked nerds aplenty and fans in general to come up with some retcon explanation of like
why they're different.
Klingons like evolving dramatically like every couple generations or something like that.
It was like I think they reveal some like virus that a generation of Klingons had in like Enterprise.
Yeah. In the TV show Enterprise, did they ever show Klingons, and therefore were they the old school Klingons?
You see them start to mutate because of some virus that proliferates during like season 3. That's Mark Leonard, who plays Spock's dad in the later films and the original series. He's the only actor that gets to play a Klingon, a Romulan, and a Vulcan.
Yay.
Yes.
Now, who's your favorite Klingon? For me, Christopher Lloyd. Now, Captain Kirk,
give me Genesis. You can have Genesis. Saturn was where it was at. Just kidding. I'll take a Genesis over Saturn any day of the fucking week.
It took me a little
Dreamcast,
bit.
bro. Dreamcast.
An underrated console.
I actually never played a Dreamcast.
Oh, man. It had Code Veronica.
It also had Crazy Taxi, which I was a big fan of the arcade version.
So about I feel like half a dozen times at least in the original series, the plot was the crew of the Enterprise takes on giant evil cloud in space. And maybe it's because this was originally envisioned for TV that the plot is Enterprise takes on giant evil cloud in space.
Is that what they're shooting at right now?
They're shooting it with photon torpedoes.
But I mean, it's the evil.
Yeah, it's the cloud. Yeah.
Okay,
To be fair,
I wasn't quite sure what they were looking at and then firing at.
They're Klingons.
To be fair, James Bond movies only have like 3 plots that they cycle through.
So would fans at this point, when this movie came out in 1979, have no idea that those are Klingons? They would just think they were another race.
Well, the ships were
the ships the same?
Were the ships established? Or?
Ships are the same, and they identify them here in this scene as Klingons. They're being monitored by this Federation tracking station.
So there's a possibility that, like, for the first couple seconds, they're like, who the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
Why is there a man?
Yeah.
Why is he just floating in space?
The thing I've heard about this movie over and over again is that, they really want to show off their models.
Well, and they had
can
such
already tell
because Paramount was like, we have our own Star Trek or Star Wars level franchise. It has a built-in fan base, and it's more intellectually advanced than that glorified Saturday matinee.
Hey, look,
serial.
lens flare. Everyone can stop complaining about J.J. Abrams. Yes.
Well done, Chris.
That
well
was
done.
one thing that I was excited about watching these again. Like, this is the first time I've seen these since J.J. Abrams, or at least this one. Like, I've watched a couple of the other ones, but like, I was like, I wonder. Like, I know lens flares just happen naturally and stuff like that. I want to be able to point out, for my own purposes, the first lens flare in the Star Trek movie franchise. And there it was. I'm glad you guys got to share it with me and all the listeners at home.
The Gene Roddenberry, who this is the only film where he's a producer. He's relegated to executive producer after this because he basically rewrites the scripts like hours before they start shooting every day, which contributed to the delays. What was I trying to say about
Gene Roddenberry?
Oh yeah, I mean,
bye.
Yeah, see ya. And they're like, oh shit. Oh, is that gonna happen to us?
Well, that's impressive.
Yeah. This really is just a recycled episode from season 2 of the original series.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Changeling, if you're wondering which one specifically we're talking about.
I remember I've still never finished a Star Trek season or a series. I like the only Star Trek thing I've gone through its completion are the movies. Original series, Next Gen, I've started them. I think I've done 2 seasons of both.
Next Gen doesn't even get good until season 3,
right? Voyager and Deep Space Nine, Enterprise, never even touched them except for one episode of Deep Space Nine, the Thing episode, which is required of all sci-fi TV shows to do a The Thing episode.
X-Files had at least 2.
Yeah, it was the 3rd episode was the first one. But yeah, I remember I was watching the original series and it gets to that the Changeling, the episode in season 2, and I was like, this is the fucking movie.
What I remember,
and then Star Trek 2 was a recycled episode 2.
It's a sequel to an episode, a direct sequel.
Yeah, so at least it admits it.
Yeah. We'll go more about the inspiration for that episode next time around. But Gene Roddenberry honestly thought that
it's Wolverine.
Yeah, that clothing would become disposable, which is why everyone in Starfleet in this movie only has the weird tearaway uniforms. You never see them ever again because Gene Roddenberry's a fucking idiot.
Hey, look, it's legs.
But thanks for creating Star Trek. Also, he tried to take sole authorship of this, but the WGA were like, no, you didn't fucking write it. Because it's... God. Just look up stories of Gene Roddenberry.
Is this the closest we see to Spock having a mullet?
Yeah.
For shame.
In that you wanted more mullet?
Yeah. I always want more mullet.
What he's basically, Kolinar is the ceremony that Vulcans go to purge all their emotions, and Spock can't. That's what he's been doing since he left Starfleet, I suppose, at the end of the original series. But he can't because, 1, he's half human, and 2, he's distracted by V'ger. As seen here.
Leonard Nimoy is looking old in this movie.
At this point, he would be 49.
Shouldn't look that old then.
City Miles, Nimoy. City Miles.
Yeah.
And a great makeup department.
Yeah. I will say this is probably the, they really went out of their way with the makeup in this film to make everyone look not as old. Not like a decade had passed since the original series ended. It's also why a lot of the interior shots are in the dark, so you don't quite see them as well. But Nimoy originally didn't want to come back because he wasn't getting enough of the royalties from his merchandising based off his likeness or the syndication. Because that's what Star Trek wasn't. The original series wasn't a success. It was canceled after 3 seasons. You know, and this is coming from like when stuff for like Gunsmoke would run for like 21 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
you didn't have to be good back then.
Yeah, because the market share was so small. There was only like 4 channels. So Star Trek was canceled after 3 seasons.
It was a high production cost too, right?
Absolutely. I think that was probably the bigger factor. The fact it didn't have the ratings to justify the episode expenses.
You couldn't just set up a camera out on the city street and start filming. You actually had to build sets.
But because of the show's relative failure, it was very cheap when syndication started in the early 70s.
Mm-hmm.
And so all these people that had no idea what Star Trek was were seeing, like, when reruns started, Star Trek was one of those things that was dominating the airwaves. So that's where the fan base is really built. But yeah, he wasn't getting a lot of the royalties from the syndication or the merchandising. And originally he wasn't going to come back at all. And Robert Wise, after his wife told him that it wouldn't be Star Trek without Leonard Nimoy, personally wrote him a check while meeting with him and was just like, here.
I like how those people walking down the steps stopped halfway through, and then it became a escalator.
There's the man. I love Picard, but where do you guys fall on the who's your favorite commanding officer in Star Trekdom?
My captain is Picard. Mostly because that for the longest time, like I was just seeing next gen movies and the next gen show.
Kirk.
Picard.
That's fine. I'll be the only one to explain myself.
Oh, well.
All you have to say is Kirk. I don't even know anything about Star Trek.
I wasn't looking for a thesis, but you can provide one if you want.
The comedy and assertiveness of Picard without the silliness of Kirk is what I liked about Picard.
And I like my tea hot and Earl Grey.
That as well.
Loose leaf.
Even though I don't really know dick about Star Trek outside of, like, basically Sam's the sensei I have for any Star Trek related things. Mm-hmm. Like, if I ever have a question, I'm just like, what is this? Why Eos pointy? And
what's logic?
Yeah,
Romulan's friend.
Yeah, and but like, just you never had to have watched an episode of Star Trek to know Captain Kirk. I mean, he's iconic, and I like. I seem to what I think I know about him. I seem to like that character.
I will say the miniature work in this movie, like I said earlier,
very good.
It's a beautiful movie.
Very well done.
This miniature work, and partially because it's the Blu-ray cut, and I think it looks like they went in and like cleaned it up a lot. But yeah, it just looks beautiful. And then once humans come on the screen, it's just meh. Because there's only so much you can do to fix footage of people. Am I right, ladies?
Although, wait, which is who's the captain? Pike.
Pike is Bruce Greenwood in the reboots, and Jeffrey Hunter in The Cage.
Yeah, because I remember I've seen the the first pilot.
The Cage, yeah.
Yeah, and then I think I've seen the second pilot.
Where No Man Has Gone Before.
And then a couple ones Sam had me
the second
watch.
pilot widely released? Like, is it like just the first episode, or do you have to hunt down bootlegs of the pilot?
For the longest time, for the first pilot, because they originally aired footage from it as a 2-parter within season 1 called The Menagerie, where it revisits the events of that. But for the longest time, the unaltered original pilot was not officially released until like the mid to late 80s.
But like, if you have like a season 1 DVD box set,
or if you're watching it, yes, if it's on the DVD box sets, the first format that saw release, I think, was VHS, either that or Betamax. But
I know it's on Laserdisc, or at least select episodes. I don't know about a whole season.
The first, if you watch it on Netflix, it's the first thing that season 1, episode 1 is.
Yeah, which threw me off because I was like, "Where's Captain Kirk?"
Yeah, there's Spock.
Yeah. Didn't what's his face marry a fan?
Scotty did.
Yeah, Scotty.
Yeah, the guy James Doohan. Yeah, made a fan.
Sorry, Star Trek fans, you're gonna hear a lot of me going, "What's his face?"
Me too.
I feel like James Doohan's the only actor that they don't heavily make up to look younger than he actually is.
Laughing.
They let him go gray. They let him grow a mustache, I guess.
Yeah, it shouldn't bum
When
me
you're
out.
Scotty, you get to do whatever the fuck you want.
It shouldn't bum me out because at the end of the day, I don't really care. But I wish they would have had their classic uniforms on in this movie.
They thought it was too. It was originally proposed, but they thought it would be too garish for a proper, again, 2001 level like film.
Yes.
That's interesting. On Netflix, so season 1, episode 1 is the cage.
And then episode 2 is the man trap.
Yes.
Because they aired it. It was the 3rd episode, I think they aired, so it would be what, episode 4?
4. Yeah. That's weird.
They didn't air them in order back then.
Take that, Firefly.
I guess they didn't air them back then in order then, too. This sequence is like 5 minutes long, and I'm not exaggerating, because they really wanted to let you know that they were back on the fucking Enterprise. Though J.J. Abrams was like, that was my favorite part of the original film, because you could see every working compartment, and it's like, okay. And he's not exaggerating by that.
So I assume there's at least 20 lens flares in this sequence?
Was one.
Yeah, there's one.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's another one.
Oh, no wonder why he likes the sequence so much.
There's like 5.
Jesus Christ.
Yep.
That's
why it's his favorite.
Okay, you know what? all you fans, all you so-called fans, go back and revisit this movie. Lens flares abound.
Yeah, there's a reason Abrams puts it in.
He's like, I'm just being faithful.
Yeah.
Sorry, J.J. Abrams. From the bottom of my heart, because I was one of those ones that complained about the lens flares.
It does get a bit distracting.
It really does.
All jokes aside, it can get occasionally. I mean, it looks cool, but
Yeah.
it can get occasionally.
This is a good use of lens flare, as in it's incidental.
He's not
It's
overexposing the frame.
Yeah. And blocking out all of the action. Where are they going?
Yeah.
Enterprise.
No, they're ending the movie early, Chris. They're going into the sun.
Well, time for suicide.
Christopher Reeve Superman's going to fly by in a second.
Came out the same year.
No,
Yeah.
wait. I think they're going for rear entry.
Nice
Aren't we
Moonraker
all?
reference.
Tetsuo just comes up and rips it apart.
He's a little too excited for that rear entry.
That's so acting that there was no acting in that scene. And Sam, you've met Captain Kirk.
I've met all the surviving original regular series members or regular cast members. I've met William Shatner. I've met George Takei, Walter Koenig, Nichelle Nichols.
This movie doesn't officially start till George Takei shows up.
Oh, my.
Wait for a bit.
Yeah. He's the best.
My father saw this 3 times in the cinema. And when I asked him why, he said, because we didn't know they'd come out with a second one.
Perfectly reasonable mistake to make.
Mistake or...
Well, considering how this one ends
Intentional.
up doing, yeah.
Jesus, look at all the lens flares.
Yeah.
I'm sticking by my number. If we get to 21, let me know.
I
I'll
wish
just
I had been
leave.
counting.
The reason
I feel like we've already passed 21.
Another reason why
Well,
this is
fuck.
so I mean there's probably 21 lights in that thing alone. But the reason why this takes so long is because again, the post-production time on this film was like next to nil. So that means like very minimal editing.
I just assumed there was not really that much of a script, so they're just making it up by just filming
Punch it
extra
up,
shit.
guys.
Well, like I said, like Roddenberry was ordering rewrites every day because he was very protective about how he wanted this to be, which is why they basically make him an executive producer for the rest of the original series films. Here's a hint. If you don't know what executive producers do,
Nothing.
They just throw money and sign
It's producer
yes.
in name only, pretty much.
Yeah.
first.
It looked like he was going to hit it.
You
I'm
know,
right there with you.
if I didn't know any better, I'd say they think that we don't fully realize either A, what the Enterprise looks like, or B, that they are
You know what?
circling the
To be fair,
Enterprise.
Jake doesn't. No idea what the Enterprise looks like.
I thought it was called the Millennium Falcon.
Oh, here's your re-entry, or rear entry, to be more enunciative.
You can re and rear.
Re-enter the rear entry. That was the name of the first porn Josh was in.
People might Google it.
It might actually be a real thing.
No, don't Google it. Bing it.
Yeah, give those reward points. I haven't paid for Xbox Live in months because of Bing.
I Bing the results and then I Google them.
Yeah, when I actually want to get the real answer.
Ooh, he's not wrong.
I mean,
but yeah, I'm
it
not.
would only be wrong if he didn't actually do it.
I'm not exaggerating when I say that the first half of this film is basically everyone going, "Ooh, ah, we're back on the Enterprise," and the second half of the film bit saying, "Oh, there's a giant evil cloud in space," even though we do this shit all the time. Remember your lines. Remember your lines.
Motivation.
Think of the paycheck, and
Were they intentionally going for this highly diverse a cast for this film, or
and you see more aliens than you ever did with the original cast too.
But yeah, it wasn't one of the big things about Star Trek was how diverse it was.
Yeah. I mean, Whoopi Goldberg was inspired to act because she saw Nichelle Nichols as Lieutenant Uhura. She realized that it wasn't just all.
And Uhura was personally asked by King.
Hey, there's
there's
Sulu.
The movie started.
Yep.
But no,
Now we can begin.
Uhura was personally asked by Martin Luther King to stay on
Because she wanted to leave after season 1.
Mm-hmm. Ugh, fucking bifocal. I'm out. Movie started for Jake. Movie ended for Chris.
If you haven't listened to our Dick Tracy commentary, available now, Chris maybe doesn't like bifocal lenses.
I was fine with the lens flares. I forgot that this has such bifocal
even
lenses.
Kirk's kirking the fuck
Kirk
out.
That's where the phrase comes from. Kirk out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. So that large forehead gentleman, how long is it before he dies in this film?
He doesn't.
Damn it.
That we see.
They set it up so perfectly.
The
He's the only one that stands out like a sore thumb.
The Vulcan that Kirk was talking to, who was originally cast to be the new science officer in Phase 2 because they couldn't get Leonard Nimoy back, remember that?
Yes?
He dies pretty hard in like a couple minutes.
Oh.
With a vengeance?
I mean, they're not really trying to make a statement.
Well, there is a boat involved.
Yeah, I suppose. Simon Says. That's the guy from Seventh Heaven who also plays Dennis and Dee's dad on It's Always Sunny.
Jesus Christ, it is.
Stephen Collins. Who isn't he, like, basically done professionally because of those allegations that cropped up?
Yes.
Google it. If you
Happens
Being
to
it
the
first,
best of us.
get those points.
Apparently, Geek Out is now sponsored by Bing.
I would love it. Give me that Microsoft money.
Yeah, give us free points on Bing results.
Give me a free Xbox One.
Ooh. Give us all free Xbox Ones. Even Josh, who already has one.
See, I'm just come by my store. I'll figure something out.
You'll give him a free Xbox One?
Let me know how much the refurbished ones are going for.
$239, cheapest they've ever been.
Okay, Mr. Zombie, okay. It's my Denzel Washington impression if he was ever in The Walking Dead.
How about a 360? Now that they're dead.
Oh God, even cheaper.
I would hope so. I would hope so even regardless that they were cheaper than the Xbox One.
If you're missing this, Admiral Kirk is taking command of the Enterprise from Captain Decker. And he isn't sorry one damn bit.
That's okay. He's got 7 heavens to go take care of.
But now he's in hell.
It's a slow progression.
For every stairway to heaven, there's a highway to hell.
And a Tower of Babel.
Yeah. One of my that's possibly my favorite episode in the original series. It's called Tower of Babel, Season 2.
We're on a trip.
Stephen Collins was originally, when it was Phase 2, he was supposed to be basically what Captain or Commander Riker became. It's going to get dicey.
This is why Bones never uses the transporter.
This is like that scene from Galaxy Quest.
Yeah.
Except these guys don't come out that well.
Well,
Yeah, if I remember correctly, that creature in Galaxy Quest didn't either.
Inside Out.
and it exploded.
Yeah.
Adjust
It's
the rabbit ears.
AT&T.
If you think about it, this is like the best action sequence we get for like a while
Like franchise or movie wise?
in
Movie-wise.
this film, because again, not a whole hell of a lot happens.
Not a whole hell of a lot happened right there.
I know. That's my point.
That's what he was saying.
Oh, I thought we were going to see something really grotesque.
No, it's left to your imagination. This is the 70s.
Sorry, he's talking really quietly. I couldn't hear what he said.
So-
What we got back didn't live long.
Ooh.
Fortunately. And to think that he signed on thinking he'd be the new star of Star Trek Phase 2.
I know, it would yours.
This is like the best shape William Shatner is in any of the films.
God, he steps on the ship and everything just goes to shit.
Yeah. There's also something that happens later that's kind of also maybe not the smartest thing. But you know, they were taking pitches from everybody, like big in science fiction at the time, to write for Phase 2. Like Isaac Asimov, Ray Bradbury, Alan Dean Forster came up with a story treatment for the film.
Whoa, somebody's packing.
I got 7 heavens for you right here.
Want to start some allegations? This job gets worse all the time.
It's very clear that this is very like, oh God, it's a giant evil cloud.
I feel bad for these people. They have to watch the shitty movie they're in.
If you think about it, that means there's probably like an entire day spent with extras staring at nothing and reacting to it. Because that's how movies are made.
You know, I think that would be better than actually watching Star Trek the Motion Picture and pretending to react to it.
I mean, that's what we're doing right now.
Yeah. I'm envious of those extras.
Who's that guy with the ass head in the
I
background?
want to know. What's his story? Where's his EU comic book? Star Wars can do it.
Come on, Peter David.
We got Skippy, the force-wielding android.
The Jedi droid.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Hey, look, it's Mr. Clean.
Looks like an older Grant Morrison.
Same thing.
Damn, that guy with the forehead has a gigantic forehead. He looks like a Metalunan from the This Island Earth. I only have one eyebrow.
Man, he's acting the shit out of that scene.
You got one line. You're gonna make it count. Be bold.
I'm reading cue cards off of the camera.
Oh, how about that guy in the back?
The blue one.
Uh-huh. Oh, now he's being upstaged by everyone else around him.
I'm in an 80s music video. I do love the simplistic, just the bong of whenever the cloud attacks.
I feel like they I feel like they reused the sound effect in Star Trek 4 with the alien probe that comes looking for the whales.
Run away!
He is noping the fuck out so hard. I don't know where he's expecting to go.
Hell. That's just my answer for everything now.
What did he hit?
The camera.
Boom.
How are they still getting that feed?
It hasn't hit the camera yet.
Maybe they have super Hubble telescopes in the 23rd century.
This is the future. Artist rendering.
Line.
Where's my script?
Get these extras off my set.
Except that bald guy. Apparently he won't die in this film.
I'm the most important of the extras.
Now the film can start.
Oh, I ripped my girdle.
In order to get in the fighting shape he wanted, Bill Shatner basically spent a weekend where he only ate carrots. And hiked.
At least he remembered to hike.
Hey, it's what's her name from Megaforce. That commentary is available now too.
It's one of our first ones.
They have a shared history, just like Diana Troy and Riker. Again, they recycled that subplot for the next generation.
Does it involve Seven Heavens?
Whenever Riker's involved, it's at least Seven Heavens.
Duties.
I wonder who.
I think one of my favorite characters in Star Trek is Dr. Leonard McCoy.
Bones. Judge McCoy.
And you get him with the best beard here.
Oh, I do like him. Remember that one
That's
time
a
you were like playing it,
Heston level beard.
and I came downstairs because you like living with Sam. Like basically, Star Trek is just on the TV constantly, whether people are home or not. And I came downstairs and fucking Bones was being killed by a medieval knight jousting.
Shore Leave, Season 1, Episode 16.
And I came down and he was just like, ah, and just dies. And I looked around and no one else was in the house. So, you know, there you go. Also, why does Captain Kirk wearing like a Confederate soldier's outfit? Because he's got like a little gold like rank on his arms.
Again, talk to Roddenberry. It's the only time you get the weird uniforms here because
Yeah, there you go.
Because he knew
take my hand.
that in the future
Robert
the
E.
South would
Kirk.
rise again.
I also like the very 70s medallion and open collar McCoy's got going on.
Yeah.
It's like Disco McCoy.
My favorite McCoy. Would he be the real McCoy?
In my book,
Ooh.
you know what the biggest movie he did between the original series and the first film? Night of the Lepus. Movie about giant killer rabbits. Maybe I'll make it my Halloween pick, but probably not.
Please do. I really want to see that now. Preferably drunk here.
Even if I don't make it my choice, Josh, we can still make it happen.
Sold.
But he wants the entire world to experience it with him drunk.
How far into the film are we?
3 minutes.
35?
And the ship is finally leaving. Can
Dry
we call
dock.
this dry dock?
It's Space Dock.
Okay, space dock.
They call
It's
it-
finally
the official
leaving
name of the station is Space Dock.
space dock.
Light everything.
I want everyone to know that this is the 1701.
You can see the model for the ship in the DC Smithsonian Air and Space Museum Smithsonian.
Please hit the sides. Please hit the sides.
No, that's again Galaxy Quest.
Or the reboot.
Touche.
Abrams had to
Or
get the
it,
idea from somewhere.
It stalls out. That's right. It stalls out in the reboot.
Got to get the humor in somehow.
Look out for the cameraman.
Wow, look at how much dust. For all the beautiful cleaning up that they did on this Blu-ray, that was awful. Just gigantic specks of dust. Boo.
Damn you, space dust.
Please don't do it.
That is some of the slowest door closing I have ever seen in a Star Trek film.
This is some of the slowest. This is some of the slowest action I've ever seen in any film.
They have to fully remind you of, again, what the Enterprise looks like, in case you've forgotten already.
Hey guys, isn't it cool? It's the Enterprise.
You know what? To be fair, I've already forgotten what it looks like now, so.
They changed the interiors, too, of the engine room, don't they, between this and...
Wrath of Khan? Slightly.
Or I'd say just any of the other ones this ship shows up in, unless it gets upgrades.
Well, Wrath of Khan's the next one.
Right.
But yeah, and they've changed it since the TV show, too. Mm-hmm. Because, they have money.
Yeah, the idea being that it got a redress since Captain Kirk's years.
And that was like half of the first half of the movie. Just him going, oh, it's changed. Like he had to ask someone where a certain department was.
Mm-hmm. We're about to get a wormhole sequence for no reason.
Because they can.
They needed an action beat, and it was the best they could come up with.
Let's just crash into Jupiter.
It's a gas giant. They'll be fine.
Nice to see the red spot still spinning.
Mm.
Risk?
They need an action beat.
But I mean, warp within the solar system is dangerous?
Apparently. They never bring that up again, because in Star Trek 3, they go warp right after they leave space dock. We fucked once.
Because they realized in this movie it's not a risk.
The entire original cast lobbied Roddenberry and Wise to have rewrites that kind of brought up the old camaraderie of the TV show, but those requests were really ignored. Everyone almost kind of feels like almost cold and clinical, like a fucking...
We've costume changed.
Blah.
This is such a slow movie that the movie makes it such a fucking big deal that they go to warp 1. I forgot that. They're like, we're in warp speed now. Isn't that fucking awesome? And there you go. That's kind of awesome, actually.
It looks like he became the American Rabbit. If anyone remembers that cartoon.
It's a wormhole for no reason. Safety first.
Please.
I like that the headrest
Was that his seatbelt? Oh, right. They had to remind themselves to shake around to simulate that shit was going on.
Ooh. Ooh.
Wouldn't this call for the Sliders theme right about now?
I can't do that. Recreate that one.
Bones is the only one unfazed by everything going on.
He's the man. Persis Kambata wanted to insure her hair because she was a model before this. She wanted to ensure that it would grow back as it was, and they're like, "Fuck you, we're not insuring your hair."
I really do like the effect.
Does that?
Some people insure their legs.
I really do like the effect, though. Like, as much as we're making fun of it, like this, it looks cool.
Oh yeah,
You get stuff like this in the film Black Hole as well.
when they go into the black hole.
Buy me Black Hole on Laserdisc, and I'll watch it.
Was that Hold On or
Hold on to your,
Photon?
it was hold on to your Doritos.
Looks like a piece of chocolate chip cookie dough.
Wish it was a piece of chocolate chip cookie dough.
Another going Mach 1, but it feels like they're going the opposite of Mach 1. Like Mach 1 reverse.
Feels like this entire movie's going the opposite of Mach 1 reversed. There's your last action scene for 15 to 20 minutes.
Well, it was my hero.
We hardly knew ye.
There goes my hero.
Where did they get that green disco ball from?
Spencer's.
The movie?
Not yet, Chekhov. You have to scream.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
I feel like McCoy is like the Han Solo. Not in that he's necessarily the coolest motherfucker, but he's the motherfucker that gives the least of a shit.
But he is the coolest motherfucker.
Is he your favorite of the original crew?
Yes.
Like I said, it's I think my favorite's actually Spock over Kirk, but that trio, man. Who's your favorite of the Next Gen cast?
Picard.
Good choice. You're a Geordie LaForge man?
Oh yeah, I had his action. I had a Picard action figure for some reason, but yeah, Geordie LaForge. I ripped his visor off and he had pink eyes.
Ooh,
And then
in the
the
show,
visor
he
was-
has white eyes.
And the visor was broken, and the toy was broken. So
I go for Data.
I wish Alf was part of the crew.
I think you have that the other way around.
Why is he captain again?
Kirk?
Yeah.
So
So
he was given he's given the mission by Starfleet Command.
Mhm.
Yeah, he could have totally they want him to personally oversee it, and he also kind of uses it as an excuse to command a starship again instead of working the desk job in Starfleet headquarters.
He's an adrenaline junkie.
Well, I mean, Spock and McCoy in the second film, everyone calls Star Trek 2, most people call Star Trek 2 like the best Star Trek movie. I think a big reason for that, and certainly one of the reasons that I love it, is because it's the first time we really see Kirk unsure of himself for like the entire fucking movie up until like the climax. And like Spock and McCoy are straight up like the dumbest thing you ever did was take the promotion, take your command back. This movie kind of has that, but it's less so because of Kirk going through a middle age crisis like he does in Wrath of Khan, and more so because he just isn't accustomed to being. He kind of feels like a novice again in this film.
5 is my favorite number, so.
Wrath of Khan's 2.
Well, there was a 5 on the screen.
I get what Jake was saying. That's why I laughed.
Yeah, but Wrath of Khan is...
Yeah, but Chris, a 2 can look like a 5.
It can, if you're using the right font.
Is the coolest Spock long-haired Spock?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Is it old Spock for you?
That's
Zachary
Zachary-
Quinto?
no.
Ooh.
Back from the dead Spock.
Mm.
Your name is Jim. He kind of has long hair there, too. Not as long, but...
But just carefree, easy living Spock.
Peaceful, easy feeling.
Yeah.
Look at our miniatures.
We're so cool.
Yay, space junk.
I mean, the 2001 influence is so fucking hard in this movie. Like, if you didn't know that going in, you'd be like, oh, this is kind of like 2001. It's like, they were totally going for 2001.
I mean, I wouldn't say that's what's, this film's detriment.
I love that dude's armor.
You want to go paintballing? I'm set to go. Oh. He's Darth Spock.
Damn it, Kirk, you was gonna get there eventually. Now kiss.
There's enough of that fan art on Google and Bing. There was a bifocal lens. That's why we looked at you.
Oh. I was looking down at my phone. Ah, it's back.
There we go.
Sons of bitches. And that fucking giant... Not like that giant forehead guy is important at all. But no, let's have him in fucking focus. God. We spent $1 million on this lens, so we got to use it a couple times. Oh, what a fucking useless thing to spend money on. Fucking didn't even need him in the shot.
You're wondering why I was campaigning for him to die so hard in the beginning.
Why isn't he in focus this shot, huh?
I see someone else has
Gene
forgotten their
Roddenberry.
lines.
Ugh!
And that shoulder, too.
Shoulder was super important.
Spock's like, I need to get away from that camera work.
Remember, they had to twist Leonard Nimoy's arm to come back.
He wasn't going to let the audience forget that, apparently.
Or the director. Hey, yo, Robert Wise, thanks for cutting that check. Now I'm going to collect this one.
And the film is saved.
I wish we got like another hour. If you're listening, we're suffering right there with you. But hey,
There's one guy that's listening. He's like, "This is my favorite Star Trek movie."
if we get through this, you got Star Trek 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Generations, First Contact, Insurrection, Nemesis, Reboot, and Into Darkness. So you got that going for you.
That's not
supposed to be
helping me
uplifting.
at all. That's like, yeah, you get through this shit, you just got 11 more shits. There's some,
The next couple shits feel really good on the way out, though.
like, yeah.
Stuff actually happens in the sequels.
This is true. There are
Hey.
whales.
He is way too excited for that
He's
scene.
got the Shatner wink.
I think Star Trek's one of those things that, like,
You have to be born into it.
yeah, you really do. Because, like, I've tried, and I've tried, and I've tried. But
You can't get none.
I can't. I just can't get into it.
Have you watched Trouble with Tribbles yet?
Not yet, no.
Mm.
Maybe that's the key, but I doubt it.
It's all right. There's only like 30 episodes left in the Star Trek original series, and I can't. It's been over a year, and I can't get myself to watch them.
Yeah.
And that last season can get rough.
Thanks, Sam. Salesman to the last.
Yeah. And Sam fucking loves Star Trek.
You know, Chris, there's a wonderful invention to help get you through that final season.
Alcohol.
Damn right.
Sleep.
It is a solution. I could also just Wikipedia all the plots.
Even Jake's seen a season 3 episode, the season 3 premiere, Spectre of a Gun.
Oh.
I don't even think I finished season
or no,
2.
that's it was the first one produced for season 3, but not the first one aired. But yeah,
Spectre of the Gun. I love the atmosphere, but no.
I've seen Amok Time, which is like season 2 premiere.
it is. It's a good one.
It's the one where it has the
Recreated in Cable Guy.
Yeah. Hence my love for it, because I love Cable Guy.
Would Spock be the Hugh Jackman for this series, as Hugh Jackman is to the original trilogy of X-Men?
Well, in that Spock has shown up in
All of them.
all of the original series and the reboot films.
And kind of serves as somewhat major plot points a few times?
Well, for sure in number
It is.
3.
Yeah.
Ears are made out of adamantium.
And I think that's a lot of. I mean, Shatner and Nimoy got final script approval for the Star Trek films they were in, so I feel like that was part of it. Like, obviously, Captain Kirk's gonna have, or Admiral Kirk is gonna have stuff to do, but yeah, Spock, Nimoy, of course, obviously wanted stuff to do too. I think the film that Nimoy has the least to do is probably Star Trek V.
So
Unless you count him just being dead for most of 3.
So the window there behind them is stuck on a screensaver.
16 years before Windows 95.
A joke that was used in Galaxy Quest, though. Set it to screensaver 3 or whatever the line is.
I always expected flying toasters to show up in one of these view screens.
Full mag. Bwam. Take that, Hans Zimmer. Yeah, that's right, I said it.
Have you tried the blinking lights? I hear that's really big with alien life.
Yeah, with musical tones.
Just remember the lights blink.
Dun dun dun. Boom, boom.
That's like one of my favorite moments in movie history.
Are you sure? I'm pretty certain I've encountered something like this before.
That's like in when Phoenix was doing their encore in Madison Square Garden, and each member would play a note from the Close Encounters theme, so they go do 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 do. So they're doing it right, do 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 do. It's getting kind of like more intense and loud, and they go do do do, and then you hear synthesizers go bomb bomb, and then Daft Punk shows up behind them, and then Daft Punk and them jam out. Oof, so fucking great. Because one of the members of Phoenix was in Darlin with Thomas and Guy-Man.
I think my heart would explode from excitement if I ever saw that live.
The guy filming it did. I think he might have died, and they just passed it to the next guy. Because they do it with the lights, too. They go bomb, bomb, and you just see these fucking robots. And they go, man, and they start jamming on that. And then they do Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger, but like as an indie rock jam song with Daft Punk on the fucking the badassness. It's so good. Look at those arms, Sulu. I've been lifting weights. Aha, aha.
I fence.
That's right.
As seen in the first episode.
Season 1, Episode 4. Season 1, Episode 5. The Naked Time.
The Naked Time is
Yeah,
that
well,
right?
and you know what? He's fucking half naked in it,
Yeah.
so it is naked
I was about to
time.
ask, is that the one where he gets shirtless?
Aha.
Why are we here?
Spa.
James is doing a really great job of forgetting his lines.
I feel like everybody in this movie. There's a lot of uncomfortable pauses in this film where they're like, we should be saying something.
Well, Kirk's known for
Gotta stretch
uncomfortable
the time.
pauses, especially while speaking.
Yes.
Like right there. Well, it is a pretty death cloud, I'll give it that.
Yeah, it beats some of the ones in the original series, right?
Yeah, that looked like glorified farts.
Ooh! Give me a Chekhov scream soon. Because I feel like that's the most Chekhov gets to do in this movie. Introduce Spock back on the ship and scream.
So they're about to be hit by a plasma weapon, yet its composition is unknown.
Maybe the frequency of plasma.
I guess.
Energy runs on frequency. Oh! It's the most you get to do in this movie. Apparently, he actually was burned because they filmed so many takes of it that the aluminum foil started to get eaten through by the stage acid or whatever.
See, right there. All three of them are in focus, and you don't need to use a fucking bifocal lens.
It's because Forehead Guy isn't there.
Manicure.
Wouldn't you?
I want to know who plays the forehead guy. Punch him.
Ask him if his contract included that ridiculous camera.
He always has to be in focus. Oh my.
Open wide.
Prepare your buttocks.
It's like amazing the choices he makes with his line deliveries. It's like he's constantly fighting himself, and then just all of them happen. He's like, all right, Bill, this is your conscience. Play it, happy, sad, mad, glad. Okay, here we go.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. Spa, ha, hawk, now.
Worst seatbelt design ever. Okay, I gotta ask, what is that around their waist in the front? Is it like a...
Their dick. I keep meaning to like actually watch that movie.
Do you want to watch it with me? Someday?
Yeah, I do actually.
I mean, is it a tricorder, a belt buckle?
It's a belt buckle without a belt.
A fanny pack without the
It's
fanny?
You know what I'm going to say? It's a sporin. It's a sporin. It's basically a pocket for a kilt. It dangles as a pouch right in front of your junk.
Sam, you concur?
Sure.
You know the most about this film.
Yeah, you are the resident Trekkie.
Sam, you're going to be doing a lot of heavy lifting on this, my friend.
There's a reason why they don't bring them back in the later films.
Isn't it in Wrath
guys.
of Khan where their necks look like the little dishes you put creme brulee in?
Yeah, because they have the Admiralty,
Yeah.
the kind of the more naval uniforms.
Yeah. Mm.
My dick.
Oh.
And here we have the crew of the Enterprise trying to find the plot of this film.
Good luck. Been doing this show for 1.5 years, 2 years almost, and he still tries to push the door out to go to the bathroom. I don't give a shit anymore. I'll lift the veil. Sam went to go take a shit.
I forgot how doors work.
Like he's gonna listen to this all the way through.
He probably will.
I know, right? Watch it. I'll get a text from him like tomorrow and be like, "Oh, so you told everyone I went to the bathroom, huh?"
I'm still pissed that I took a piss before this movie. That could have killed a couple minutes.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the opportune moment to use my bathroom break.
You would have gone and come back. They still would have been in the same scene. You'd be like,
Yeah, be like,
"Son of a
fuck
bitch."
this. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Shit, he could have gone 5 times and they still haven't left space dock yet.
We are almost exactly halfway through this movie.
Oh
so.
my shit.
Man, work is going to be so much fun tomorrow.
Yeah, I was thinking about going to the gym after this, but now I'm starting to think otherwise. I mean, I don't have to be at work until noon, but it's all the way in Ashburn.
Yeah, but we get to see Lethal Weapon tomorrow.
Bones.
Fucking can't wait, dude. Especially with that sound system.
Mm.
That's what oh my god. I'm so fucking psyched to hear that saxophone.
Wow.
I'm trying to think of like my favorite scene in the first Lethal Weapon movie. I mean, Kevin and I always talked about the...
Mel Gibson's butt.
Oh,
Is that in
yeah.
the first one?
Yes, and that's the first thing you see, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Mm.
You'll see it on the big screen.
That's right. I do like the, I'm hungry. I'm going to get something to eat. You really are crazy.
Stops him from shooting himself by putting his finger between the gun and the hammer.
Oh!
By the way, I've been repressing myself, but every time it cuts to Sulu, that's a bifocal lens too, and it's awful.
They
Justin-
are all now realizing how big a mistake being in this movie was.
Yeah. For a cloud, it's very geometric.
Oh, the best part is they're actually probably staring at nothing.
Yeah, at best an X.
Tennis ball.
Before the first Men in Black came out,
Here comes the Men in Black.
Will Smith was being interviewed on like the Tonight Show with Jay Leno, and I think it was Leno. It might have been Conan, but he's making a joke about how awkward it is to act opposite a tennis ball, and then he grabs a piece of paper and draws an X on it, and he's like, "All right, Jay, I need you to deliver this line to this piece of paper with an X on it, something like welcome to Earth, or I'm not letting you off this planet without blah blah blah,
Yeah.
And he just gets so intense about it that it's hilarious. And
Yeah.
Look it up.
I will.
Will Smith's Men in Black interview on the Tonight Show. I'm sure it's on YouTube.
Did I tell you guys I've been calling it my feral binge, and I've just been reading as much Wolverine as possible because of our X-Men commentaries, and it's fucking delightful.
I know you've been reading, but I didn't know you called it your feral binge.
I just came up with it yesterday.
Nice.
Because, Wolverine. It's a lot of fun, man, because, a lot of the characters I really, look to read, they're, B and C and D characters. They don't have that much you can read about them, unfortunately.
Like Ragman.
But Wolverine's got oodles of noodles. Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a lot to read. And the next one I'm planning is Enemy of the State, the Mark Miller, John Romita Jr. book, which I'm very excited for.
The Will Smith movie?
Yes. Yep, Gene Hackman plays Wolverine, and Will Smith plays Wolverine.
Wolverine plays
Elektra.
Jack Black.
Jack Black as Wolverine.
That's right. He's in Enemy of the State, too.
Oh, shit. That's right.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that movie a long time ago. I think that movie's 20 years old.
Jesus.
I think it's I want to say 96. I don't know why, but it's got to be, if not 20 years old, close to 20 years old.
You know what? You might be right.
I could... No, because I remember seeing that in theaters.
Were you alive 20 years ago?
Well, 10.
Yeah.
Well, probably 11 at that point.
I said 10.
I'm going to do the rest of this fucking Geordie LaForge and just have my headphones like this. That way I don't have to watch it.
That's that's like when we were doing episode 2 and your headphones stopped working and you didn't tell any of us.
Oh yeah, I unplugged it. And then
that's right. Yeah.
Well, no, because there was it was a movie that was fairly recent where was it Revenge of the Sith when my headphones stopped working, and usually if I was trying to mess with the phone, the headphone jack, it wouldn't affect you guys.
Yeah.
But it was affecting you guys, and you guys were sending me face, and I was just fuck it, it's broken.
Yeah.
Fuck it, and I just took my headphones off.
98.
Okay, so yeah, almost 20 years, yeah.
Jesus.
So I was 13.
Yeah. Almost 12.
And you were also 13.
Math.
All you need to know is that you are the same age as I am.
Yeah.
Ooh. November 98.
Oh, Josh, my DC box that I do that comes in every 2 months, the Loot Crate, but DC Legends or whatever, came for it was the TV show themed one. That's just really cool stuff. But the pop figure I got was Jay Garrick from the TV show Flash, and it's fucking awesome.
So not Jay Garrick. Spoilers.
Oh,
Wait. Flash TV pop of Jay Garrick.
yeah,
Not the comic.
not the comic. No,
How?
I don't know.
It's
It's
a
exclusive.
DC
It's exclusive for DC Legends,
Yeah.
I guess. I was psyched because I thought it was either going to be Green Arrow, Supergirl, or the Flash, and I was hoping for Supergirl, even though it's not the Supergirl TV show Supergirl. And I opened it up as Jay Garrick, and Jay Garrick's my favorite of the Flashes. Flash Eye.
You lucky son
It's
of
fucking
a...
awesome. It's fucking awesome. Got a Supergirl patch too. Renew that shit,
Or move it to the CW.
or move it to the CW. Yeah, just
I heard that
That's. I
be
mean,
happening.
that's. I think if there's going to be a season 2, the only thing that's going to save it is going to CW. Like they can't do CBS.
And then run for like 11, 12
do it.
seasons.
Do it.
And just be the worst CW trash.
I
Because
don't-
they're going to be like, oh, a female lead? Awesome. Let's make it all about shitty
Although
relationships.
if it moves to CW,
Just like the CW.
it means you have to have a club scene in it randomly of dancing and stuff.
They'll probably
No.
move the collider to a club.
One thing I'm hoping.
And that alien task force will move underneath the club.
Yeah, they're still showing like the same model since we first started. If they go to CW, I still hope that they keep it on different different Earths. You know what I mean? Like I liked in the crossover that Flash and
would.
Supergirl don't live on the same Earth.
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
That's weird. I actually can't find the Jay Garrick pop.
Yeah,
I found a whole bunch of others.
It's exclusive for DC.
I'm just looking at image searches.
They don't even have pictures. It's
No.
not allowed.
Apparently
That's
not.
the secret. The box is.
Yeah.
I'll bring it next time. It's so fucking awesome.
They
I
have
was so
Captain
psyched.
Cold.
Oh, nice. It's so sweet.
It might get sticky.
Yeah. I keep it away from Josh. Then I'll just send you a picture, Josh. How about that?
It's like they're underwater.
It's like the Abyss. I have that on Laserdisc.
Only that movie was better.
Well, yeah. The bar is quite low here, Josh. Did you think it was cool when Spock mind melded with V'ger? He hasn't done that yet, has he?
No, he hasn't. But I will think it's cool.
Because it'll be better than anything else that's on the screen.
Wait, is this Batman and Robin?
Yes. Batman Forever, where Jim Carrey as the Riddler runs and he's like, "Intruder alert! Shut up!" Or Batman and Robin, where it's Alfred doing it, and Alicia Silverstone is like, "Uncle Alfred, it's me," as if it's actually Alfred.
It's going to claim Persis Kambata.
Now, I have a question, and maybe it's because I've never paid enough attention while watching this movie, but is she a robot?
She becomes one because she gets she's replaced by one here.
But so she's not a robot right now.
No.
So she's just very stiff.
Like everybody in the movie. She fits right in.
But I mean, like she, like if there was like anyone that like you could be like, is this person secretly an android like in Alien? It'd be her. Next on the list, Spock.
Yeah. I suppose Alien came out in 1979 as well, didn't it?
Something like that.
Yeah.
It's the better sci-fi film.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's also the year my dad graduated West Point.
Near my dad graduated Carson Newman.
Both my parents had been out of college for several years. I think actually it might be the year my parents met.
That's me every Monday at work. And that's also what happens.
Jesus Christ.
Your life gets undercranked.
That's me when a bird shit on me when I was outside of the mansion line at work.
Ugh.
I didn't even notice until the guy who, like, every hour we switched, and he walked up, he's like, "Is that bird shit in your arm?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Mondays, am I right?
Right, guys?
All right, Garfield. This is the most emotion she's shown the entire movie.
Nice moves. Whoa. Yes. They all just start screaming. Just start screaming. Show something, Kirk. Here it comes.
This is all your fault, Kirk.
Here it comes. That guy in that armor better hope he never gets shot in the face. Or anywhere else.
is my line. Oh, we're approaching the butthole.
Now I'm interested.
It's Sulu on screen and butthole.
Ooh,
Thank
Planet Balloon Knot. Here we come.
Oh my.
Chocolate starfish.
Which film is Sulu most prominently prominent?
I would say either Search for Spock or Voyage Home. He has his own ship in Undiscovered Country, now that I think about it. The Excelsior.
Excelsior. Bwah. I just imagine the coma doof just wailing away on a guitar every time. Hi, I'm the female replacement. They're just going into a giant pot leaf. How did I end up on the bridge?
Why haven't I left yet? So it's a cloud, but not a cloud.
Mm-hmm. It's a cloud atlas.
True.
An underrated film, and a better one.
I need to watch that again.
I need to watch it for the first time.
I'm still trying to figure out if you'd like that or not. I'm not sure. I want to break free.
Don't do it, Jim. Don't act.
That was like the Will Shatner has to take a shat face. That's right. I did that. I used his name for shit. I'm ashamed. Don't worry.
The shat chats.
Love Shat, baby.
10 roof.
Wait, did we land on the Tron set?
You wish.
That'd be the crossover we all wanted, but we'll never get.
Also a better movie.
Also a better film. Both of them. Together.
I don't know.
Is he going cross-eyed right there?
Yes.
He's been cross-eyed like the entire movie. It's been kind of weird, actually. Like, distracting me the entire fucking movie.
I know the crossover Josh wants, and it happened in the comic books. Doctor Who and Star Trek.
Yeah.
Yes.
Didn't Green Lantern and Star Trek crossed over?
Recently, yeah. And then the X-Men have crossed over.
Was
Legion
that
of
original?
Superheroes.
Was that original cast, or was it the reboot?
It was reboot for
Star
Green
Trek?
Lantern.
Green Lantern. Okay.
Ooh.
Yes, I was thinking about the fart noise you make yesterday as I was slipping away into sleep, and I was like, I like Chris's question fart, and I just passed out.
Passed out while passing gas. Ooh.
I hope. So, when does the plot start on this one? 'Cause I feel like
another half hour.
I feel like we've hit the 25-page mark where you're supposed to have the plot start.
Dude, we're almost an hour and a half
Yeah.
deep.
Hey, it's Superman.
There's less than there's a little over 30 minutes left.
See,
This is
Jake,
the point where Sam would lean over for watching this in theaters, and he would go, Superman pose.
they went into the cloud, through that cat's anus, into the
Cat's anus.
into the
Star Trek,
starfish
Cat's
to
anus.
find the plot.
Okay, good.
They're
He is
still looking for it.
Kirk is looking, like pretty good, like in shape.
You just have to spend an entire weekend eating only carrots and hiking.
Yeah, that
It's
happened in the
probably
Scrubs
better.
episode, and the guy's orange, right?
Yeah.
Remember that?
That's probably better than what Hugh Jackman was doing to look more jacked.
Oh, not drinking water and probably getting very angry with just everybody. He's like, I was unpleasant. I'm sorry.
I'm here. They're about to go into another anus.
Star Trek: The Motion Picture. Journey to the center of the anus.
I like that you said cat's anus. That's the best. Yeah.
It's specifically feline.
You saw it closed up.
Yeah, it's true. Cats are the only mammals with anuses that close.
That's why I'm in the bathroom all the time. It's just always coming out. That's the idea.
Did he just a closed orifice?
It leads to another chamber.
The sphincter.
Hopefully, within that chamber is the plot.
And that's the reaction.
It's more of a plop.
The reaction from Bill Shatner, just like,
Oh, he is acting so hard right now. I'm like that guy. Mr. Spock, my lines aren't on the screen. Nope, they're still not there.
Yes.
It's Ex Machina.
well, now. No, it's a woman.
Woman!
Okay, now I know it's not the tricorders on their belts. So was Bald Lady plant all along?
No.
Oh, you
Well,
were in
no,
the, yeah,
yeah.
you were gone.
And also, all I said was she a robot? She
Yeah.
could easily be just a robot like Data.
But she was like of a different species, and then, then she was like captured and replaced with the
This thing?
yeah.
Oh. So this isn't actually Bald Lady.
I
No,
mean, yeah, no.
It's a replicant.
The guy in the body armor kind of looks like Stallone. Wait for it to cut back.
Jake's
Where?
back in.
It kind of looks like Stallone now, more accurately.
Oh.
You'll hopefully.
Damn it.
Damn it! He's just
Get out of here, Spock.
Who cares about
We'll
Spock?
even
It's a
take
Star
that
Trek
really
movie.
shitty focus camera lens.
Yeah.
He does, yeah.
I'm listening to your conversations.
Live long and prosper.
Yeah, you know,
We came out the same year as Rocky 2,
I would have been
which was the better film.
Yeah, I would have been a good hunt. That's probably the only time I'd ever going to hear you say that over a Star Trek anything.
I was about to say, there's Rocky 5.
Yeah.
Still better than Star Trek.
Maybe. At least I know
Well,
what's
we-
going on.
Well, yeah. Well, I remember like it was one of those times where like Geek Out does this all the time, and each of us have we've done this, but I feel like we were all on board for like Rocky 5. We watched it. We're like not as bad as we remember. Like for real. Like there's been plenty of times where we've all been at odds with that statement, but I feel like that one we were all like,
Which
well,
one
you
was
know
that
what?
again? Was that the street fight?
Yes.
Yeah, Tommy Gunn.
Yeah, that was the first time I.
And that's one of those ones I was explaining to somebody recently who never seen it about what I think the standout scene in that is really when Rocky's watching the title fight and he's like punching the bag and it's he's like do this and then when Tommy thanks everyone except Rocky and Rocky tries to play it off like he's not fucking crushed. That's like the best scene in the movie. Nipsey Russell. Cat's anus.
Very micro to me.
That's that's Gene Roddenberry's wife, who plays Nurse Chapel in the original series. In this movie, she's Dr. Chapel.
Oh,
Ooh.
moving on up.
You can get a doctorate of nursing. So you're Dr. Nurse.
It's almost Deckard. It's Decker.
Decker, I hardly even know her.
Come on, we've got a 7 heavens for you.
A7 heaven. Seventh heaven.
Hey, it's a... Those ears had to be in focus, Chris.
Yeah.
Apparently Nimoy's ears had grown since the end of the original series, so they had to basically build new ears every time he put them on because he would break through the mold.
Your nose and ears are some of the things that always grow throughout your life.
Do we know she's killed?
They just assume. I mean, basically.
In my wait. What?
I'd love to assist you. What are you thinking?
Well, at least she kept acting long enough to do Megaforce after this.
Do we really want to call this acting?
Deeds, not words.
I'm concerned with calling this acting as Spock is, too.
Oh, they didn't say about this movie.
Or in her acting ability, either. You get a faint hint of the original television series.
By Alexander Courage, yeah. There was a stipulation in the contract that that Alexander Courage would get all the royalties and writing credit if nobody wrote lyrics to it. And so just to get a share of the royalties, Gene Roddenberry wrote lyrics to it. They were never used because the contract didn't stipulate that they had to be used.
Oh, I would love to see what the lyrics are to it.
They're online because it was part of the... That's how he got the... Again, Gene Roddenberry may be kind of a dick.
Maybe, kind of, sort of, definitely double confirmed.
It's called Naked Twister.
Hello.
Flop.
Are they on the Enterprise right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, on the rec hall.
I didn't realize the Enterprise had a rec hall.
Enterprise has a lot of stuff that we don't know about in this movie because they redesigned it so drastically after
And
this.
the Enterprise is fucking huge.
Uh-oh. I've seen that look before in a female robot in an Austin Powers film. It didn't end well. That look, too.
I usually see that look at a different point of the evening.
When the evening
It's usually
begins?
It's usually the only look I get. Oh, self-burn.
The cruelest burn.
The rarest of burns. Sam just farted.
Here's your Gene Roddenberry.
Cat's anus.
I'm fascinated with the fandom of Star Trek, and so I watched Trekkies 1 and 2, and was it the Captain's documentary that was very good, and then there's I think Gene Roddenberry's son did a documentary that I think was on Netflix that was very very eye opening, and again to his son's credit, doesn't. Didn't he do that to the Wolverine once and just took him out?
I'm gonna hack the shit out of this Vulcan nerf bench.
But he shows all sides of Gene Roddenberry, and it really kind of shows how he kind of became. He lived long enough to see himself become the villain with Star Trek. Unfortunately,
George Lucas did the same thing with Star Wars.
but I like George Lucas.
It doesn't change the fact that he lived long enough to see himself become the villain.
Yeah. Fake. Oh shit. Your name is Will.
Will, friend?
God, they even recycle the first name for Riker, don't they? Because he's Will Riker. Damn it.
This franchise is just all about recycling, which, hey, as far as things goes, all right.
Earth
Makes
first.
it easier to makes it easier to write. Did you know that next year Chris Nolan, the director, not me, is coming
The
out
other
with
director.
with a World War II thriller called Dunkirk.
Dunkirk.
Oh yeah, sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Mm.
And Luc Besson has another sci-fi movie coming out, Valerian and the City, or I'm sorry, Valerian, and the City of 1,000 Planets.
Yeah, that's got...
Okay, fine. So I'm the last one to know about this shit. Whatever.
Yeah, kind of.
And the only reason why I know about those two movies is because they moved up Pitch Perfect 3's release date so that it didn't have to compete with the two of them.
Wow. That's a lot of faith in those other two.
Well, I mean, it's a Christopher Nolan movie and a Luc Besson movie.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about the Luc Besson one, though.
Well, it's not about how you feel.
In the original script, Spock and Kirk both do the spacewalk to contact V'ger, but they were like, why would Kirk do it? He can't mind meld. He's not a Vulcan.
God, everyone's going short-sleeved.
Oh my.
Is it like a virus just going through the ship? Eating people's shirts?
Chekhov has long sleeves.
That's to cover all of his gang tattoos.
I saw Eastern Promises.
What was that Blink-182 headline? Speaking of Eastern Promises and Donger.
They just released a 15-second song called Built This Pool about this Mark Hoppus apparently building a pool just so he can say dicks. You can stream it now.
Whatever you got to do, man.
What was the Tom DeLonge song off his demo compilation, Golden Showers in the Golden State?
It's actually a good song.
Into the butthole.
Rear entry, here I come. Please be gentle, it's my first time.
Is this where Spock becomes the Star Child?
Yes.
Murph! Don't let me go, Murph!
You should cut that.
I
with
don't
this scene.
remember this in the script.
My shit just kicked in. How am I supposed to get back to the ship? The porn parody writes itself. They keep using the word plasma. I don't know if it means what they think it means.
Isn't this series known for just reusing words that have no real logical
You
meaning?
mean like pretty much all sci-fi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this one in particular?
I think this set the popular watermark.
That's what happens when you're pretty much the first sci-fi to do most things that you do. It's all just the same planet.
Good God, how much acid did they drop for the effects on this film?
Not enough.
Clearly, they didn't keep enough to share.
They did get the same visual effects director as 2001, so it kind of makes sense that it...
There's the Star Child.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I will say this, Black Hole has nothing on this now.
Yeah, well, he doesn't go to heaven, hell, and in between.
Is that what the kids are calling it these days?
He's going to mind meld with it, but in that way that you do on Avatar.
There's your scream.
But it wasn't a whalehound.
No.
No, this isn't Star Wars.
No. There's Spock or Kirk spacewalk, but he doesn't get to go into the anus.
Poor guy. Oh my God.
30 minutes, guys.
30 seconds, no more dick. Commentary available now.
Yo, catch me.
Huh?
Wake up, there's more movie.
Why?
Don't worry, he doesn't die to the second one.
Spoilers.
Fuck him.
30-year-old spoilers.
Close to 35.
We're just going to trim his ear hair here.
Why does his neural pathway look like a Vectrex game?
Oh, sorry. No, I was just playing Vectrex. Sorry.
Spock outdid all of them. He went sleeveless. And he's got a hoodie?
Well, fuck.
I feel like he's leading the DJ, like, stereotypical gear charge.
Skrillex saw this movie and was like, that. Father, I will become a Spock. and Michael Bay directed all the movies.
I will not be outacted by this pointy-eared bastard.
This is my monologue, Bones.
Get out of this movie while you still can.
What you're seeing here, because if you remember, if you're still with us, first off,
Sober.
First off, thank you. Second off, Spock, when we first see him in the movie, is undergoing a ceremony to purge all his emotions. What he just experienced was, he melded with machine life, mind melded with machine life, and he realizes that feeling, emotion, is something a machine, a coldly logical thing, will never comprehend. So he has, I guess, the closest thing to an arc in this movie. That's Sulu in the command chair.
Oh,
Sorry, it was a shot of Sulu in the command chair. But I feel like you said it for Jake's benefit because he wasn't looking, but like it's just like, by the way, it's Sulu in the command chair. It's just, that was like when I pointed out that it was a dummy falling off the cliff on Bond, and you were like, I know it's a fucking dummy.
Well, for all those people that don't know, that wasn't just an awkwardly framed shot of him in the navigator chair.
Gotcha.
Which it could, I mean, given some of the cinematography we've seen.
Sure, could have. Now that you put it that way, I get it.
That was the intent there. Not just like, look, that's Captain Kirk.
Look, it's Kirk on the screen and a butthole.
A butthole is transmitting above Earth.
The finest of all buttholes. By the way, for anyone who hasn't seen this movie and doesn't know what the payoff is, I feel like it's one of the biggest fucking letdowns in the world. Just throwing that out there.
Well, I'll see you guys next commentary.
Yeah.
Next week, we talk Wrath of Khan. This has been another Geek Out comment.
Yes, let it end.
Oh. Dude, have you been reading the script? There is no answer. Was that across its nose or up it?
Yes.
Both. It's a machine. I need you to eventually look to your right.
Don't rush. You got a lot of time to fill.
Just look over your shoulder. It's missing intentionally?
It's
It's communicating. Or Bettine.
Well, that was a whole lot of math.
She screams in silence. A spanking.
Like most children do.
Yeah, McCoy. He knows what I'm talking about.
He's thinking right there, so I spanked the bald one? You got the wrong fax number.
Oh my. Clearly that butthole is attached to someone who just had Taco Bell.
It's electric.
Boogie, boogie, boogie.
Doot, 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 doot.
Jim, what the hell kind of movie is this?
Got him.
Anybody want to watch Enter the Dragon on Wednesday? It's at Fairfax Corner at 7.
You know, I've never seen it, but I'm interested. It might be available.
You don't have to work Wednesday?
I do, but I think I'm going to be getting off around 5. Oh, and I don't have to go into the bar until
can't.
10.
Oh,
I can't.
okay.
I might be able to just
I have
make
a
it.
after work event I have to work.
Ah,
Yeah.
another night on the grounds.
Another night on the grounds.
Sleepy Hollow status.
It's pretty-
But let's go meet V'ger, because we got 20 more minutes of this son
Holy
of a bitch.
You know, I feel
I thought
like
you said that like 30 minutes
yeah,
ago.
I feel like half an hour ago you said 30 minutes, guys. Hey, look, it's Sam on a Saturday night. Hey!
You can check the runtime.
I could, but that requires me leaning up. And I'm enjoying my supine position. Or is there death? Duty.
Stations.
Station!
To station?
That's a fantastic Bowie album. The only Bowie album
21
with a
minutes
thin white Duke.
left. Not 21 minutes into it.
Oh no, if we were 21 minutes into it now, I just... No.
Ritual suicide, baby.
Was that your plan all along, Sam?
Yeah.
You wanted us all to go with you on the show.
That's how my cult works. We don't wait for the Hail Bop comment. We watch Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
We wait for the V'ger reveal.
No. Is that like a fart?
Yes.
Sure. There's just a scene.
What the fuck was that?
I'm starting to go mad.
Now?
So in tandem with her like pointing her finger, Jake just slowly raises up his middle finger.
Feature.
Make it a V. Which is funny because I just happened to look over at Jake right before it happened, and he's like just sprawled out, and I was like, Jake fall asleep? And then he just slowly raises his finger, and I'm like, nah, Jake's awake. Much to his chagrin. If Jake wasn't a Star Trek fan before, he definitely isn't now.
I don't think I've seen this level of hatred for a science fiction film with Jake since the Clone Wars animated movie.
At least that was short.
At least shit happens.
Yeah, he stirs his coffee like a fucking asshole.
If you ever want to hear Jake
That's not what the Force is
disappointed,
for, prick.
In a Star Wars film, no less.
And that was our least favorite. We did episode 1.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I would rather watch episode 1 again than watch Rebels the movie.
This is like the worst, man. Like, at least shit happens in it. My other candidate for worst Star Trek film is Insurrection. This is worse than Insurrection.
Which one's
Well,
Insurrection?
thing
Well,
is,
we'll
like-
revisit that question after we watch Insurrection. because
Insurrection's the
as-
clone one, right?
That's Nemesis. Insurrection's the one with the Baku.
It's so bad that nobody remembers what it is, which one is which, except Sam.
Yeah.
I don't even remember that one.
Anthony Zerbe's.
He probably doesn't even remember which one he's in.
Yeah.
Wait,
This is
is that
just-
the one where Picard starts off captured
No.
by the Borg?
No,
No.
that's First Contact.
Oh, then yeah, no, I don't know it at all.
Borg is only in one movie. Yeah,
Oh, then yep.
and they're only in like 2 episodes of Next Gen.
They're in a couple, but not a whole hell of a lot, because they still preserve them as like a credible threat, and then Voyager's like, oh, we'll have them every other episode, and it's like, oh, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So
defangs them a
Voyager makes them incredible.
Yes. Well, speaking of Voyager, now we learn what Voyager's.
Voyager. Werewolf. Werewolf.
This is like an expensively made trash. Like, it's a terrible movie. Like, it's not even like, oh, it's got a charm. Like, I guess
Spock, you really need the tricorder to know that it's a fucking satellite.
the models are nice, but it's just terrible.
The sets are cool too, actually.
But it's just. Oh
I want to.
Is
I
she
want to
wearing
take
pants?
this. No. I want to take
Cool.
this and edit it down. You know,
So just the scenes where she points and says Vijay.
chop out the chuffa. If I may.
Remember,
Make
Chris,
it like a 35-minute long movie.
this is the director's cut here.
Also, remember, this was supposed to just be a pilot episode. Now it's a full-on feature film.
Yeah. I'll chop it down to the pilot episode. 30 minutes. I'm pretty confident that I could probably chop this down to like 45 minutes.
Because this is a little over 2 hours. That'd be an hour and a half.
Oh, pilot episode, 45
God.
minutes, enough time for commercials to make
Well,
it a
I
full-length
mean-
hour. Yeah, 45 works for a pilot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, especially if it's you could
50 if it's a special event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is where you learn why it's called feature. It's actually... Come on, wipe it off faster. Just come on. Spelling with Captain Kirk.
And sometimes
I really
why?
want after he done that, and Bingo was its name. Oh.
I like how he spelled out NASA, like as if we didn't know what NASA was. It's like when
Speak for-
X-Files is like global positioning satellite instead of just GPS.
Speak for yourself. I only know what the Federation is, man. Voyager. Did he find the plot? Is that what that sound is?
He's finding the end of the movie, so you should thank him.
Thank you, James R. Kirk.
Oh, taking it where no man has gone before status. Just 15 minutes, guys. 15 minutes.
Hey.
We don't call them black holes anymore.
No, we call them buttholes of space. By the way, that's
Or
bifocal lens.
bomb Disney
Just
films.
in case you were worried if I was annoyed.
Beach.
She doesn't need to be in focus right now. What is this, a fucking Calvin Klein ad?
I am consciousness.
I am Chappie. I am the captain now.
V'ger is gassy as fuck.
It became so intelligent that it learned how to scat.
Oh, dude, he's got an Apple Watch.
We get it.
NASA isn't around anymore to answer the facts.
It's just looking for its creator, like
Answer
all of
the
us are on
phone.
some existential
I know
level.
that you're home. I
Ooh,
wanna
Sam, that's
get
way too
you
fucking deep for this
alone.
movie. Get that shit the fuck out
You're
of
as
here.
deep as the butthole they just flew through.
At least 2 chambers, maybe 3.
Three chambers to get to the film this was supposed to be.
We should have gone through 3.
Sorry, we didn't have the budget for it.
For this one, though, they did.
We must go deeper.
This was the biggest budgeted film at the time of its production.
Yeah, but we know what big budgets always get us.
Yeah. Did anybody see Gods of Egypt?
No.
Okay. Apparently most people didn't either.
But everyone saw Deadpool, and that had a horrible budget.
About 50,
58 million.
58 million,
That's what the Wikipedia page says.
yeah. Mm.
And it grossed over 700 million.
Look at all that those green lights.
V'ger.
I will join with V'ger. I have heard the stories.
I have the stories of the Thuggy Cold.
It's true. All of it.
They're joining, and the V'ger.
10 minutes, guys.
I think the countdown's making it worse, Sam.
11 and a half.
The false countdown isn't
Rule-
helping either.
Rule number 1. Sam lies.
I'm just a madman with a box, guys.
Yes, we all saw the
Touch
shot.
you, fuck.
It's seeking retribution.
Resident Evil Retribution?
Yes.
A better film.
I'll agree. Just like my dad.
Mine too.
I don't think my dad listens to our show anymore.
I know for a fact mine never has.
And if he did, he wouldn't have gotten this far in the Star Trek commentary.
You'd be surprised, Sam.
Is this his favorite Star Trek movie? That explains a whole lot.
No, he's just a stubborn son of a bitch.
I refuse to even watch the movies along with it. I'm just going to listen to the sound of my son talk.
Like I said, stubborn son of a bitch. It evolved the fuck out of this universe and this film.
Another universe.
A multiverse.
Fuck you, Spock. I'ma fuck that robot.
Seven Heaven style.
I choose this one.
A good, hard dickin'. Decker, don't. That's a lot. Like, the girl you love is dead. That just happens to be a robot that looks a lot like her. And I guess has some of her memories or something. Oh my god. And cut. I'm the last starfighter.
Ever see Starman with Jeff Bridges?
No.
It's directed by John Carpenter.
Oh.
True story.
Jeff Bridges. Jesus.
Super Saiyan.
Wait till he finds out that I have a dick on this robot.
I have the female penis.
It'd be funny. There's just a dude underneath him with like a fucking blow dryer. Hey, you're gonna save so much money on the budget. This blue.
It's like them
bloated
leaving
mess.
the grid in Tron.
And
Whoa.
Josh is back in.
Yeah, but Tron looked better.
The only reason Tron wasn't nominated for special effects is because the special effects for the original Tron were, and I suppose the sequel, were made by a computer. And at the time, the Academy of Arts and Motion Pictures and Science considered that cheating. It's like, wow.
Fuck them.
How far we've come.
I do feel like at this point, I mean, practical effects are so out that maybe it'd be useless, but I would love to see a separate category for like best practical effects and best CGI effects.
At this point, Tron should just be given the award. Just be like, hey, sorry we done fucked up back in the past.
Yeah.
You actually do deserve this.
34 years later.
Better late than never.
It's just an Oscar with a post-it note that says, my bad.
I owe you.
Meanwhile, back in the regular Star Trek universe.
I'm so glad we get a proper Star Trek movie next week.
This is just like one of those bad pilots that like is good enough to get them the funding for the full series.
Oh,
Like
hey,
the
look,
original
it's
Star
Forehead
Trek
Guy.
pilot.
Ooh! Take that, Gene Roddenberry.
Has Forehead Guy said anything this entire film?
No.
I don't think so.
God, I really hope he's in the next film just to die within the first 5 minutes.
He unfortunately doesn't come back.
Dies between movies. That's my headcanon, and I'm sticking to it.
His head, too.
And the American way. Bitches.
Fuck you,
No, they're
Kirk.
casualties.
Don't do that to their families. You smug bastard.
Yeah, I think their families would rather have
the
a definitive they are dead versus they might come back.
They've
Is that
evolved
the
into
thing
a
you
higher
were
form of
talking
life.
about earlier, Sam, of like the one grave mistake that Kirk makes later on in the film? Was that it?
No, it was the
the
fact that
bluff.
it was the wormhole.
Oh,
In this film, it's the wormhole because he.
it should have fucking been that.
Yeah, well, they evolved into a higher form of life. I mean, I'm just saying.
That's not missing though.
To be fair, Kirk has no idea where they are right now.
They just evolved and left.
Batman thinks of everything.
That's another reason why Kirk isn't my
And
captain.
cut. And cut. Oh yeah, had to have that.
And Skittles.
And cut. And credits roll.
Please.
And lights off.
And turn off the screensaver.
Josh has the magic touch.
Thank Christ.
The Human Adventure is just the beginning.
So that was
Like
Star
this
Trek, the
franchise.
slow motion picture. Do you guys agree with my little moniker for it?
Yes.
Terrible. One of the most boring, bloated movies I've ever seen in my entire
Now,
life.
do you think that part of the success of Star Trek II, The Wraith of Khan, is partially due to how boring that movie is?
I think so. I think it's a tighter film.
Mm-hmm.
There's more action in it, and
It's got Ricardo Montalban
it's got
chest.
Ricardo Montalban. People actually show fucking emotion. Like there's actually like a sense of camaraderie that you clearly don't get here.
I think it's.
That looks like it says Stephen Hunter fuck.
I think its
does.
success also comes from the fact that it's building off of something that they already had a much greater blueprint from than this was just let's see what the fuck sticks.
Well, they were trying to kind of connect it more to what came before. You know, they were like, hey, we didn't really resolve this plot point from like season 1. Let's see where that can go.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the more reasons why 2 does better.
To play a little devil's advocate to you, though, as Sam and I said, that is a recycled plot from at least 3 episodes.
Certainly the Changeling, which shows up in season 2.
Yeah, but I mean, like, recycled plot versus
Sequel.
continuing a
Yeah,
plot
take that,
point from
Hollywood.
an episode.
Sequels versus reboots.
Yeah.
I
So-
don't care.
I don't even give a shit anymore. But
Jake, how was your first viewing?
Like I said, it was terrible. Bloated mess.
Yeah,
Wor-
Like
two
Sky.
thumbs down. F.
hey, look, it's Chloe Dykstra's father.
Just terrible.
Why do I know that name?
She's done a lot of stuff. Anyway,
Yeah, okay.
yeah, with Nerdist and that sort of thing. Because she used to
So
date
you
Chris
should
Hardwick.
know.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Anyway, yeah, that's Star Trek: The Motion Picture, guys. We'll be back with a much fucking better movie next week.
You know, if I was able to laugh at it this much and make this many jokes, it can't be that bad.
Okay. Well, there you have
Well,
it.
if it makes you happy, it can't be that bad.
But yeah, man, it's been another Geek Out commentary. I'm Sam.
I'm Chris.
I'm Jake.
I'm Josh.
Bye. This has been another Geek Out production. If you enjoyed what you heard, hey, we've got a new commentary every Monday. We've got a special episode every Friday. Of course, there's the usual catching up show every Wednesday. And you get book club episodes just about every Tuesday these days. Thanks for listening.